Hello, I'm Maginpanic, and today we're gonna talk about this lyric video I made for a Polish artist Peter Kukulski. The song title is Czarny kot, which translates to Black Cat. The brief for this video was about the artist who sees himself as a black cat that brings bad luck to others. So that's why we have a black cat all over the video, as well as the artist himself. On the very top you can see the animatic I did for this video, and on the bottom is the finished animation. So as you can see, I changed colors a little bit, I added animation obviously, because the animatic have just keyframes. So that was the base that I was preparing at the very beginning, and then once everything was accepted, I moved to the animation process, which is on the bottom. We're gonna watch this for a couple more seconds before I will jump into the project file. Hope you have a wonderful day today. So let's just jump into this video, and I will walk you through the entire process of creating this lyric video. At the very beginning, as always, I'm trying to divide this entire project, this entire song, into parts to check how much animation I actually have to do. And as you can see, I divided the song as the following: intro, verse 1, chorus, post-chorus, verse 2, second chorus, second post-chorus with outro. I marked with red what I was actually kind of reusing. So then I put everything together, and I knew that I had about 164 seconds to animate, but actually the post-chorus and the chorus was multiplied, so I could cut that by half, and I actually had just 134 seconds to animate. I'm doing that because the entire song, that a little bit over 4 minutes, is overwhelming to think of. So when I see the number of the length of the song, I'm a bit overwhelmed with the amount of work. So that's why I'm dividing the song into parts, how much work I will have to put it into, and this a little bit more than 2 minutes look way more cool, and I'm not scared of it anymore. That's what I'm creating this. So let's just go into this project file. For this song, I didn't divide it into layers, many things. Most of the animation is just on one single layer, which is this one. Background have just a background, and then I have my little bit of helpers which I drew before to reuse all over the video. So there is a Peter, there is a cat, and eyes, which I love to use throughout my all videos. As you can see, everything here is just drawn on one frame, on one layer, frame by frame, and I was just animating this as it's going. Some special effects here and there. This intro part wasn't too complicated, just couple frames, one after another, to make this work. Then let's move to the first verse, which is slightly more work to do Those verses was very long, a little bit over 40 seconds, which is pretty a lot of work to actually manage. All those transitions, I love to make them very smooth and liquid, so that was the idea. That means it's very early in the morning, so the sun was rising. That was the idea for this shot. And as you can see, I just have 3 layers here. One of them is my drawings that I'm reusing, one is the background, and everything else that you can see is on one layer. Because I had this animatic prepared before, I didn't care too much about how many mistakes I will do, because I pretty much knew my abilities and what I can actually do with this entire animatic. I was pretty sure that everything here will go smooth and I will be happy with the result, and I wasn't wrong this time. Just a smooth transition. Coffee, I love this steam here. I was trying to use one element, this white one, all over the video to just go through entire video. As you can see, there's a sun going into this egg and then into the steam and the hair. I was trying to chase that one element all over the video, and I'm pretty happy with the result, how this goes throughout the entire video. This first verse was pretty a good amount of work, but there was nothing too complicated, just some sweet and smooth transitions from my animatic to bring this entire song together. There will be more technical things on the next parts of the song. So for now, I was trying to give a little glimpse of the cut here. That was actually the first part where the character was switching into the cut before the chorus, and I wanted to give a little glimpse of that to make a little bit more connection between the character and the cut before the chorus started. So let's jump into the chorus itself. Right now, as you can see, it's a way more layers, and it's mostly cars, which I will show you in a second, and tons of smoke, which was just a reuse of one layer. Let's go. The cat opens eyes and there is a car approaching, and obviously brings a bad luck, so then the car crashed and then we have a smoke. We have this scene once again, so there is a light on the cat, bad luck, and the car is out there. As you can see, this steam here is a cycle that have a couple frames, and it's nothing else than just a cycled smooth steam. This is a car just to feel those drawings, to get attached this smoke to the car. Then I have a next scene with cars, which was those. Just a simple motion, nothing too complicated. The car is just moving towards, and then I switch the color to make the crash and to actually not animate the crash itself, because that might take a while, and to approach it smartly. I did this, which the cars are crashing, but cat is actually running away, sitting there. And then you can see those smokes, which is just a smoke that I showed you before, just one layer multiplied and translated a little to make a bigger cloud, and the smoke cover that will have the little attachment between the cars and the smoke itself. That saves me a lot of time. I could draw it separately, the huge cloud, but because I had this smoke, I thought I can reuse it, and because I also had a limited time to finish this video, that's how I approach it, and I'm pretty happy with the result. It's not too bad. Right now, when I'm looking at this, maybe I will draw something to eliminate those negative spaces. Like in here, there is one more popping here. I would eliminate that, but overall I'm pretty happy. Then it's a smooth transition to the cat's face. Everything drawn frame by frame. When we will look at this layer here, you can see it's all done on one layer. Transition here, and this is the most complicated scene that I did for this video. That took me so long, and I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty complicated to have this motion. Take a look. The cat is jumping from one car to another, and the entire camera is coming towards us. So I made a little peg. You can see the little motion here. I can disable it, and without this enabled, I still have just a one layer on the bottom. And what happened on this layer, I had to be very careful with this layer. Take a look. There is a car, there are cars obviously, and the lyrics, and everything happened on this one layer, nothing else. And the cat is jumping from one car to another while everything is moving. That was a very risky move to do, to not divide those layers into this one layer into different layers, because there was so much room for mistakes and I could do so many things wrong. But I believed into that, into the fact that I can do it, and because I had limited time to finish it, I just go into the straightforward approach where I just animated it from pose to pose, because I've got those poses already drawn, so I knew where I had to animate it from one pose to another. So that was just the one thing to make the smooth transitions between those poses. And in front, on the top of that, I just added this peg to make this constant motion, and I'm very happy with the result and how complex this actually is to make it happen. This is pretty much it for the chorus, because then it's a straight reuse, as I told you before. Let's go to the post-chorus. Post-chorus is created from like a 4 cars with this cloud. And what happens here is there is a lyrics on top of the cloud. I can see a little mistake right here. I'm gonna check if I can actually fix it. Okay, this one is not connected. So what happens here, this is the part that I'm always trying to have, that one part that's quicker to move, quicker to animate, that's faster to do, and I choose this part to do it this way. So there was just 4 cars, as I said, 4 clouds, and the lyrics on top of that. You can see the lyrics are not changing, but the cloud on top of it changed the color of the lyrics, and that was created by having this lyrics behind the cloud. Then I have the smoke here, and on top of everything is this lyrics cutted by the cloud itself, and then it have changed colors to the new color. It's just a color override on top of this cloud, and that's how I created this effect. It wasn't too simple to do, because then I had to move one card to another, and I had some issues with this, but after a couple of weeks I made it done, after I actually divided this into four like pieces of animation that I could just move entirely. So there you have this one that moves outside from the screen, the second one just grows, and the third one appears on the right. And that was kind of like a sequence that I used to reuse to move from one card to another to just make this animation happen. And at the very end of the post-chorus I make a close-up, and this is it. I was always trying to remember what is in the next scene, and to not make hard cuts on the video, I was always trying to move those elements out of the screen, or make a smooth transitions, or end the clip with what is on the next clip. Let's move to the second verse, which is pretty easy, as you can see. As always, just the cuts. Right now I have the cars as well here, as I drew them on the chorus and post-chorus. Then you have this entire layer full of animation, and there is just a one mask that I will tell you about in a second. Just a smooth pose to pose, and as you saw on the animatic, just a smooth pose to pose motion from one drawing that I did to another. This is another thing that I'm pretty happy about. This thing is smoking, revealing the effect. Everything is hand drawn, frame by frame, which I'm pretty happy about, because that was pretty complicated to draw, to animate. I'm always trying to approach my lyric videos as special effects, as I'm a special effect artist, because that's more fun for me to do. And when I have opportunity to do something like this and just test my skills, I'm gonna do it for sure. This is it. Then it's smooth transition to the face. Pretty weird what is happening here, but I thought it might be a cool idea actually to do transition this way and bring the eyes like wrapping from the behind of the face. That was a funny effect to create. Lyrics appearing around the character, and because there was appearing around, I thought I can switch it into the cut and do exactly the same. Then it's more pose-to-pose animations, and it's all because I created those this animatic, and I knew what I will have to do with those images. I like this little cycle here. I've got some problems because this is obviously a cycle, but those lyrics here are not at all. So as you can see, this is divided into those two things within this one layer, so I could just replace this one part, and it's simplified with the contour, so I could just modify it like this from frame to frame. Moving on the cat switches the position from left to right, and it's perfectly mirrored from this to this, so I reused the cat here into this position, so it's like just going through, switching position, going super fast, and then the cat in front pretty much reused. I don't like this because it's barely readable, but I couldn't do it other way with the limited time I had. That bothers me. This shot bothers me a little. Then I move into the cat and I realized that I switched the color of the background, so I had to make a little motion, and I like to do this switch when the eyes are closing. That was pretty smooth, and then this part appears, and there comes this mask here, which was a little waves, and the jet ski that's inside, so I could just, as you can see, make the animation of the character going inside and swimming like in the water and going off the screen. That saved me a little time, and I'm pretty happy with the result. Then is a transition to the next animation that I really like from this video as a special effect artist. This little wine glass with a liquid. I'm pretty happy with the result on this one. I use the motion of the switching lyrics and moving screen to actually drag the cap, the glass of wine with the wine inside, to make this realistic kind of motion. Because it was going left, the liquid was dragged into the right side and then created this kind of little wave, which was then flowing around to find the sweet spot to not move at all. I like this so much. Moving on, there is a cat that switches position to another side, and a little transition to this, which I thought it could be a cool addition to everything, and this is pretty much it. Because I had to switch the background again, I did the same thing here to switch the color of the cat, and then we are in the chorus once again. So this is pretty much it about this video and how I created it. I hope you like it. I hope you learned something. If you want to check this song and actually listen to it, because I'm not adding the music here, it's a rap-ish song that I really recommend to you. It's a pretty chill song, and I'm picking the songs that I like. I have to say that when I don't feel something and I don't feel any connection to the song, or I just don't like it, I'm not gonna do it, because, well, I have to have that flow, and this is something that I often struggle when I have to do a song that I don't like. I'm just sitting on my desk and I don't like that, so I have to like this song to actually move it forward. Thank you so much for watching. Here you have the Peter's channel and the video, his actual lyric video that he uploaded. Thank you so much for watching. Have a sick day and see you around. The next video will be similar to this, but with other lyric video. See you very soon. Cheers, thanks for watching.